Okay, so with this done, again, I'm not going to do a tutorial about how to do the pelvis. I'm just going to do it here. And you can follow along, or you can just figure it out on your own. You probably know enough now to do it completely on your own. So I'm just gonna go kind of fast in here. So I just made a cube, and I'm going to position it here on the front view and on the side view. Okay, so I have it there. I kind of need that shape that goes between the legs. And I could grab a cylinder, either that back cylinder I have here, try to scale it and put on the right spot. But I think it's a lot easier because I have this leg here and it has that shape already on it, and it's already the right size, and it's pretty close to where I need it to be. So I'm going to hit 1, and I'm going to use this face just like we did with the wrist. I'm going to select this face and duplicate that face, and then I can extrude it out, and just get the middle piece, and I won't have to size things so much. So I'm going to go in the edit mesh menu and say duplicate that face. And I actually have two objects now. I have this one and the leg. So I'm going to move this object, and you see the pivot point's off. It's off to the center of the leg because that's what the leg was, where the leg had the pivot point. So I'm going to say center pivot point in here, and I'm going to move it a tiny bit here so it's separated from the leg. Maybe a little more. That's right there. And then I'm just going to extrude it. And just like that, I have the middle piece here. It was fairly easy because it was already the right size and kind of close to where I needed it. So until now, I have kind of been forcing you to model things, extruding when it's necessary and keeping shapes together when in real life, these two shapes kind of transition one from the other without being separate objects. But you don't always need to model like that. If you were to look at this close, you probably could not tell that this shape and this shape are not combined if you're looking at this model. We could get picky and combine them, but you could just leave this shape there and this one there, and it will look correct. So I'm going to hit 3 to see how they look smooth. Obviously they need to have holding edges here, so I'm going to just put with holding control. I'm gonna put a couple holding edges on the cylinder here and hit 3, and that's pretty good. On the cube here, I'm going to hit Q to get rid of the cube. The cut tool. On the cube, we can do the holding edges by hand, or we can use the bevel tool. So the bevel tool does exactly what it says. It puts a bevel on your object. So I'm going to select just the box here, and I'm going to click on bevel. So right away you see it kind of puts a bevel there that acts kind of like a holding edge. It's just the bevel is quite big. So I'm on the fraction on this window that popped up. I'm going to reduce the fraction here. And if you look, there's a triangle on the corner. We don't like triangles, so let me just see if I can find the right fraction here. Let's say 0.05. That's yeah, let's do 0.03. That's good. So you see still there's a triangle here, so we don't like that. So we're going to, on the segments, we're going to say make 2 segments, so I don't have a triangle in there. Now if I select this, I don't have a triangle there. I have just 4-sided faces, which is a lot better. And now I have, smooth triangle, kind of like this shape. And it looks fairly good. You're probably wondering, why didn't I just use bevel on everything? Well, you can't use it all the time You can select some edges and do it on some edges, but if I have this object selected, like if I would have done it on this cylinder, you will run into an issue that it bevels everything. So let's say this is that cylinder, you know, the only difference is on its side. So if I hit bevel in here, I do the same thing. You know, we'll do the same fraction here and change it to 2 segments. Now if I look at my cylinder, it's put bevel on the roundness or the faces of the cylinder, so it will not smooth anymore on those faces. You know, it will, when I hit 3, you know, it keeps these edges sharp because it's put bevels on everything. So you have to be careful with using bevel. I guess we could do it. Let me just undo here the bevel. There, we could do it like this. We could just select this edge. So it won't let me select by double clicking because this is an end gun. Hit F to center the camera. So I could do it like this, select just the one edge that I want to bevel and hit bevel. And now it's not beveled these edges that are going up and down. So I only had that one edge selected. So you have to be careful with bevel, you know. It's not, you can't just put bevel on everything because it might ruin your model. In this case, it's sharpen our circle, which we didn't want. So just watch out for that. Now I have my shape here done. I'm gonna hit 3 and 3 to smooth everything. The only thing I'm missing here is the space for the, let me hit F to center the camera here. The only thing I'm missing is this box kind of follows the, you can't see it here on the drawing, but it kind of follows the curve of the leg. So I'm going to hide the arms for a sec. I'm going to hit Control H to hide them. And I'm just going to create a couple cuts here. I'm going to select the box. And I'm going to hit 1 and 1 on this so I can tell where the middle of the leg is. So I'm going to cut right above the middle of the leg here. You can see where the tip of the leg is. So I'm going to select the knife and hold Control and click right on the tip of the leg, right there. And then where the leg kind of goes into the box, I'm going to cut here also. And this would probably be easier on the side view. So right where the leg goes into the box here, I'm going to hold Control, cut, and then here and cut. And then I have these points here, so I can just move them up because I know when I hit 3, those will round out. So yeah, it is kind of round. I'm kind of missing this flat sides here. You know, it's kind of lost them. So all I need to do is put a holding edge here on these 2 sides. So let's do that. I'm going to select the knife again, hold Control, maybe hit 1, hold Control, and right before the leg starts turning, I'm going to put a holding edge there and a holding edge here. Oh, come on, it's trying to snap here. And I don't want it to snap, so I'm going to put a holding edge here. Okay, so now if I hit 3, it's a little bit closer. I think I might need to move these points up a little bit more. You know, these points. So I'm going to hit Q, select them, maybe pull them up a bit more. So separate. And I hit 3. And then this one hit 3. Oops. Yes, there it is. You know, that's perfect. And I didn't combine this. You can combine it if you want. You could put a couple cuts here, delete a few faces, and kind of bridge them, kind of the same way that we did the hand. If you're picky, you know. But it's not necessary, you know, if you combine these two objects, this one and this one, they'll behave as one, and you'll probably never look in there to see if they're connected or not. So we're going to combine them. Here's the shortcut. Now they're one object, and we should at least delete the history too. So let's delete the history up here. History's gone. Delete the history on these guys. Yeah, and you can name things if you want to, so you can find them easier on the outliner over here. Right now everything's grouped here. We can't ungroup it. Oh, I changed the name on the wrong spot here. This is legs over here. There we go. Same with this thing. I changed it on the wrong place. Let's change it here. Pelvis. There we go. Okay, so let's bring our arms back, and the Lego is done. So what is due for this week is just a image capture of your Lego. So I want to see the whole Lego model. Let me just, I guess I can talk and find a menu. There we go. So make a screen capture and make sure you show me a good angle of your Lego. And I do want to see an angle of the back of it. I want to make sure you have the leg holes here going. So make sure on one of those pictures you capture the back of your Lego. You know, your arm might not look exactly the same, but if it's close, that will be good enough. Now with the environment, you want to start modeling as soon as you can. So there's a quick way to block the environment if you're using, let's say, an indoor environment. So up here is planes. You know, we can click on a plane up here and then kind of position it down here, scale it bigger. This would be our ground. We can duplicate it. Control D and then rotate it. And let's say this is our wall here on the back. So I'm gonna move it down here. You can have a wall really fast down here. Let's make it 90 degrees for sure. You know, you can create a room like this really quick. The other thing you can do is turn on interactive modeling. So right now we've just been clicking on shapes here. They show up on the middle of the grid, and we just move them where we need them. There's another way to model. If you go here to the create menu, you'll see right there's polygon primitives, which is what we've been using. They're all listed here, and there's a few more that we haven't used yet. Look, there's a pipe. We could have used a pipe for the hand. There's helix and gears and other stuff. And down here you see interactive creation. So I could click this on, and now when I click on a shape, instead of just showing up on the middle, it will ask me where to put it. So I could click, let's say, in a cube. Let's say I wanted to put a desk right in front or to the left of my figure here. If I click on the cube here, it's saying drag the base and then drag up. So if I click and drag here, it's gonna make the base of the cube, and then I can pull it up. Now I have a mock-up of where my desk is going to be. And I guess I could move my Lego figure up and my plane up so everything's lined up, because that's what happens with the interactive creation. It puts everything on the grid. So right here on these lines, it won't put them up on space. I'll put them right on the grid. So I can block out my scene really fast like this. I can say, okay, I have the desk. What do I want to, let's say this is a bedroom. I want to put a bed here. I can click and drag here and then drag up and say, let's say the bed's going to be right here. Let's say there's a dresser over here also. So I can click again on the cube, you know, and create things here really fast by just clicking and dragging. You know, I can add other things. And I'm not seeing them because they're under that plane, but if I hit 4, I can see them. So this is one of those love sacks. What are they called? Bean bag, yeah. So, you know, you can mock up your scene really fast. Why do you want to do this? Because we want to put lights and see how lights affects our scene really as soon as we can. Because we don't want to spend a lot of time modeling everything to 100% detail. When you put your lights, you will see what objects are visible and which objects are hidden by the lights and the shadows. So you don't have to put as much work on those areas. And this is something used in industry, so you're not wasting your time with, I'm going to model, let's say, a flower pot back here, and you're putting all this detail on it. And then when you put the lights on the room, that's completely hidden, and you just wasted a bunch of time. So it's easier to just mock up your scene with simple polygonal shapes and put some lights, and then see where do you need to put attention, where do you need to spend the most time. And I'm going to show you about lights on the next video and how to use them on your scene.